Hey guys, Jen Barnhill here. Welcome to day 4 of the Clean Eating Challenge. I don't really think that a challenge week would be complete unless we had a conversation about sugar. So today we're going to focus a little bit on refined sugar and how it affects our body and why I believe that you need to cut it out in order to, or cut it down, in order to be successful in the long term. So sugar typically just makes us overweight and makes us sick. 1/3 of North Americans are obese right now, and the top 3 diseases would be stroke, cancer, and heart disease. And they're all linked in some way to eating foods with a lot of sugar. And sugar is hidden in tons of stuff that you would never imagine. So it's in stuff that you would think of, like cookies and cake and stuff like that. But it's also in tortillas and sausages and chicken broth and salad dressings and all kinds of stuff. Cold cuts, bacon sometimes. Cereal and bread are especially loaded with it. And apparently, according to somebody said, baby food now. That's fantastic. So why is sugar added? Well, the first reason would be to make it taste better, obviously. Some foods that have lots of sugar in them normally wouldn't have tasted very good, so they load them up so people buy them. But the other reason would be to increase the shelf life of something. Sugar is a cheap additive for producers, so a little bit goes a long way, so they use it a lot. The other thing to be aware of when you're looking at labels is that sugar is not always going to be labeled as sugar. Sometimes it's described as agave or corn syrup, or especially high fructose corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup is the super bad kind, and I'd really like you to stay away from it. It has to do with how it's processed, so that is the problem with that. High fructose corn syrup is a huge problem right now because it's in everything, and it's leading to fatty liver disease, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So please try to avoid high fructose corn syrup at all costs, and basically just avoid corn syrup if you can. So, like I said, obviously we know sugar is in cakes and cookies and candy bars, but I just wanted you to be aware of the other things that sugar is also in, like bread, where it's hidden. Things that you don't necessarily think of, but it all adds up when you put it all together. So to replace sugar, a great alternative is stevia. It's plant-based, and if you're able to get stevia in raw, it's the best version. So you really just don't want to replace sugar with artificial sugars. It's even worse than actually eating the sugar, is replacing it with all the chemicals, because they are definitely linked to cancer and all kinds of other stuff. Just so that you know, the average American gets 22 teaspoons of sugar every day. And Canadians are even worse, they're 26 teaspoons of sugar every day. So I just wanted to let you look at this. Oh, it's hard to see on a white plate. But this whole section here is all sugar. That's 22 teaspoons of sugar. So what you're supposed to have would be this little tiny sickle right here. That would be 5 teaspoons of sugar. There's a big difference in the amount of sugar when you put it out. So that is not a great thing to have in your body if you can avoid it. And like I said, it's hard to quantify it because it's hidden in everything. So you might just look at that plate and say, well, that's not that much sugar, what does that matter? But you need to realize that everything that goes into your body has to be processed, or your body has to do something with it. So if you're eating too much sugar, your body is constantly overworking. It's kind of like riding a bike up a hill forever. You're constantly working your body and you're not getting anywhere. So it doesn't just go into you and disappear. No matter what happens, when you eat something really sugary, or you have a diet that's constantly filled with sugar, your body takes what it needs and puts it into the cells and closes the cells up, and they're full of sugar, and the rest of it has to go somewhere. So what happens is it goes into your bloodstream, and it's running through your bloodstream. And when excess sugar is running in your bloodstream, that's when diabetes comes on. So your bloodstream is so full of sugar that it doesn't know where to go, and it starts being sent to your liver, where it's stored, and that's what they call fatty liver disease. So why is sugar so hard on your body? I mean, it's okay if you're going to eat some sugar, but you really want to limit it to what you're supposed to be eating, which is about 5 teaspoons a day. You're going to feel better when you limit your sugar. Sugar makes your organs fat. It primes your body for diabetes. It's linked to cholesterol. It's also linked to type 3 diabetes, which you may not have heard of, but apparently it's something that's pretty new. Came out about 6 months ago, and they're linking it to what we have always thought of as Alzheimer's. It's also linked to depression, because when you eat a bunch of sugar, your body does what we were talking about earlier in the week. It does these crazy loops, and you end up crashing, and you feel like crap. And when you feel like crap, it messes with your emotions and turns your day really bad. So when we feel like we need food to feel better at that point, and then it's just a vicious cycle because you're back into the loop again. It also scrambles your body's ability to tell you that you're full, which is an even bigger problem, which could definitely be leading to obesity. So you can go and Google lots of stuff about sugar, but I just wanted to tell you about it for this challenge. And I want you to be aware of what you're eating, and how you can be aware of what you're eating is by looking at the labels. So generally 1 teaspoon of sugar is 4 grams of sugar. So when you look at the back of something, it might have 12 grams of sugar in it. So if you divide that by 4, it's going to have 3 teaspoons of sugar. So considering that you need to have 5 in a whole day, maybe that's not something you want to pick. And a Coke, for example, has 12 teaspoons of sugar in it. Bread has 2, so you just have to keep in mind what you're putting in your body. So you guys can take a look at what you're eating and whether you're eating above or below the recommended amount. So go ahead and post today about this. Share with the group how you feel you can cut sugar out of your daily life, and how it's going to be healthier for you and your family. So just remember, you have to be an advocate for your health, and you are in charge of teaching those around you about how to be healthy and how to eat properly. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.